Yes, that's a banana. Hi. Yeah, share it with your sister if she wants it to.
Eddie, banana?
Alright, so my kids are home. One of them's in quarantine. And the other one I just left home because the health department's going to come by later to swab Kyrie's throat. And if I have the other one in kindergarten, because they're going to call like 10 minutes before they're going to be here. And I was like, well, what if they end up calling right when I have to go pick her up? So I just left her home. And they have both been very, very hyper lately. I mean, super wild. Just driving me absolutely nuts. So there's that. I just wanted to just talk about something real quick, I guess. One of the things that I've been getting information on, experiencing, whatever, is like, I don't have my phone stand thing. Let me do this. There we go. A lot of people within the spiritual communities, they have this thing where they're like, my truth is the only truth, right? And that's cool. But they're like, they try to push it onto other people. This is where I stand when it comes to your personal truth, my personal truth. And this is my personal truth, right? Whether it resonates or not, that's completely up to you. I honestly don't care. Because it's my truth no matter what, right? At least for now, it can change. Our truth can always change. Why? Because we change. But what I'm experiencing is, one, there are two types of truth. There's the type of truth that resonates with us because we hear it. Like somebody says, your soul is evolving, right? Your soul is evolving. The goal is to reach enlightenment. You experience your life. You reach a certain level. You come back into your next lifetime, and your soul kind of picks up where it left off, right? Until you reach enlightenment. That's a truth that resonates with people because they heard it. The other type of truth, which is the only kind of truth I look for anymore, is the truth through experience.
I made Eddie spell Kyrie Jones.
Did it have a lot of twos in it too? Like Addie did? Adeline wants to write her name, so I'm teaching her how to write, and I go A, and she goes 2. So we got letters and names now. Go, baby, I'm on a life.
Okay.
Anyway, so that's the only kind of truth that I really express anyways. Anything that I write is not based off of something I heard from someone else unless I specifically bring that up. All of the lessons that I learned, all of the things that I share are things that I have personally experienced. I have felt these things in a physical, emotional, spiritual way to know that these are my truths, okay? Because I've experienced them. So there's the truth that resonates because we hear it, and then there's the truth that we know is truth, our truth, because we experience it. And everybody's experience is different. Everybody has different lessons to learn. One of the things that I experienced is that enlightenment is not something we achieve, it's something we are. We talk about law of attraction and manifestation, and we say that if we say I need something, or if I am looking for something, that would suggest that there is a lack, right? Which again, levels and layers and dimensions to that too, because I can say I need money because I actually need money because there is a lack of money, but the universe isn't going to tell me, oh, well, then you lack money. The universe is actually going to provide me with money. Because the intention behind it is not I'm lacking. The intention behind it is I am abundant and I need what's mine, you know? So, also something I experienced and I've learned. So even though I have a lot of crap going on right now in my life, I'm still in a constant state of gratitude because I'll literally have one shitty thing pop up and immediately have something else come in to make it less shitty. And this is also another truth that I'm experiencing at the moment, so that whenever I'm able to translate the downloads that are coming in with it, I can do that through sharing my own experience, my truth through my experience. And then what resonates with, that's going to become a truth to you until you experience your own, which could be similar to my experience, or it could be something completely different. That's the beautiful thing, is that nobody's wrong and nobody's right. We all just have our experiences. Now, the reason I say that we already are enlightened and that it's not something that we chase after is because I see it in children. Not just my children, other children. A child is born, and even though they cannot communicate, because, well, it's just a baby, it's a cute little baby, it just shits, cries, eats, and sleeps, right? And cute little things. But, you know, like Adeline, she's 2.5, so you see this age where they're starting to develop a personality. Anybody who comes around my Adeline will say, why is she always so happy? She's always such a happy kid. Like, even if she's crying or having a fit, you know, kids, they do that. They can't always express themselves. They get mad. My kids, they beat each other up. They fight. They do what kids do, right? They argue. They do what kids do. But the overall energy that comes from Adeline, because she hasn't experienced any kind of trauma yet. My other two, they've experienced trauma. So the energy is different already. But the energy coming from Adeline is that of an enlightened person. Just peace, just love, just happiness. That's it. She don't worry about what's coming next. She don't worry about, you know, actions and consequences. You know, she saw a big pile of rocks. Big old pile of rocks. And she literally went, whoa! And ran and charged and jumped into this pile of rocks. There was no thinking. There was no, can this hurt me? There was no fear. There was just jumping into the pile of rocks because it looked fun, right? Someone at the door? No. Yes? No. So, you know, whenever people talk about enlightenment, they assume, they read, they hear that enlightenment is about knowing everything or having everything or not having problems, right? They think if you're enlightened, you don't have problems in your life. But the information I'm receiving is quite different, right? Because it's not about not having problems in your life, because we came here to have the human experience. We manifest things, but there are also things happening that other people manifested. There are things happening that just happen just because, right? We are of the world, but not in it. So as an observer who... What, baby? You're done?
Yeah.
Okay, would you like to color something else? Would you like some stickers?
No.
I got stickers.
Pup.
Puppy?
No, pup.
Pup.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't have any lollipops.
Bubble.
We can do bubbles when I'm done. I'm on the phone.
Bubble.
Oh, that hurt, didn't it? It's okay. Yeah, I know, baby. Yeah, that hurt. Come here. Yeah, it's okay. She hit her face on the laundry basket. Look, you got a dirty face. Yeah. It's okay, there's nothing there. There's nothing there. Say hi.
What happened?
She hit her head on she hit her chin on there. It's fine, there's nothing on there. She's good. She's just got a dirty face. You're okay. It's fine, right? No blood. Completion. Yes. That's Addie. Are you going to cry some more to watch yourself cry? Hey. 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 Are you done? Where's your drink? Where's your drink at? You want juice?
No.
No? Okay. Come on. For those of you who have children, do your kids like to watch themselves cry too? I have something. Hold on, I have something. Come here. Hold on, guys. Look, kiddo, I totally forgot. My neighbor gave me that last night. There you go. Now you're tripping over shoes? Do you need a nap? Kyrie, can you put Paw Patrol on for her, please? Sorry about that. Yeah, see, I got my laundry basket up here on the bed because I was folding laundry, and it's... Oh, can you see that? It's broken right here, and she hit her chin right there, and that's kind of sharp. So that's what that was about. What was I saying? Yeah, so she's the one where I see this, though, that, hi, Jackie, that children, they function at a level of just unconditional love and joy and peace for the most part. They don't worry about stuff. They just go with the flow. So for me, it is a truth that children are enlightened, and it's not something that we have to search for. It's something that we just have to remember that we are to begin with. I got messages coming in. What? What? I'm still doing a live.
Addie has a lot.
I know.
Can I have one?
I don't have any more. Like, I got that from the neighbor last night, and I forgot I had it. And then whenever she asked for a lollipop, I remembered I had it, so I gave it to her. Bye now. Go finish your homework before she gets a hold of it and rips up your book. Go.
I feel like you're hiding more.
I'm not. That's an American lollipop. Where would I hide more of those? Put Paw Patrol on for her, please. Hey, Jackie, are your kids driving you crazy too? Are we allowed to, like, trade them for fish or something like that? It's bright. Anyways, what the heck was I trying to say? Oh yeah, the world. Huh. So, I see people who post about, oh, well, everything is manifested. Everything happens because we make it happen on an energetic level. Which, yeah, there is a lot of truth to that. But there's a lot of things that happen that we have no control over. Right? Other people manifested it. Or it's just something that is part of the human experience. This morning, I was cleaning my living room, and the girls were in their bedroom, which is on the other side of the apartment. And the TV was on in the living room, but I didn't realize that it was on mute until something else happened. So I'm cleaning my living room. I'm alone. Nobody's talking. And all of a sudden, I hear music playing. And I think it's coming from the TV. But it turned out that the TV was on mute, and the music that was playing was Jesus Loves Me by Whitney Houston, which I haven't heard since, God, I don't know how long. I was a teenager. And it was playing on my Alexa, on my device, my Amazon device, on my Echo. Okay, I didn't trigger this one. And I was like, that's really weird, because nobody gave a command. There was no alarm set or anything for that time for there to be any reason why she would automatically just pick a song and play it. And that was the only song that played. Jesus Loves Me by Whitney Houston. Started playing out of nowhere. And then it finished the song, and that was all she had to say. And I was like, oh wow, that's cool. There's a sign right there, right? Like, that's magic right there. So like, I've been having a pretty rough month and a half. Other people have had it worse. Everybody's experience is their own, and we all are affected in whichever way we are affected. The key is response or react. We can, choose to react and lash out, or we can choose to respond and, see the good. Find a place where there's, where should we have gratitude? Like, my cat needed surgery. Well, that's 200 to 300 euros off of my car fund. I have 2 weeks to get a car. My car didn't pass inspection. I have 2 weeks to get a car, or I don't have a car. I can't take care of my grandma who lives 30 minutes away and needs daily attention if I don't have a car. I can't pick up my kids in an emergency who go to 2 separate schools in 2 separate towns if I don't have a car. So it's like, okay, cool. This is taking out of my car fund. However, they're allowing me to make 2 monthly payments. They're allowing me to split the bill in half. So that's cool. So that gives me a little extra for the car fund. The guy who was wanting to sell me a car, he called me yesterday. These kids are driving me nuts. Do you hear him? I locked that door. I bet you hear that. The guy who was going to sell me a car, he calls me yesterday, and like I had a lot of stuff to do yesterday, and I already canceled the doctor's appointment to check my hearing. Um, and I was already like, I'm not going to go to my son's school because that's too much. I'm just going to go to my daughter's school to pick up her stuff. I said, screw it. If he doesn't have his books, he'll be fine because he's going back to school anyways because he's not under quarantine. So I did the bare minimum. I did what I absolutely had to do because I've been really, really drained. I've been really tired physically and emotionally. Just I'm drained as fuck. So I did that, and then the vet clinic wasn't opening until 3 o'clock. Now I was supposed to go see this car at 4, and I was the first person out of 4 or 5 people to view this car. And the guy had already told me, he was like, "You're the first one to see it, so if you want it, it will be yours. Like there's no, you know." And I was like, "Okay, cool." So then I'm here looking up. The vet clinic opens up at 3. Okay, well I'm not gonna have time to take her to the vet and go see this car. What am I gonna do? And this guy is selling the car for a really cheap price. Like really cheap. And it's a small car, but it's something, right? So, and it's got inspection left on it until next year. So he calls me right a little after 3 o'clock, and he goes, so, because it's his son's car. It's his son's car that he's selling. And he was like, so I took my son's car for a drive, and I heard a sound, and I don't feel comfortable selling you a vehicle that has something wrong with it. So my son took it to the shop. He said, I'm not going to sell you a car that has something wrong with it. He says, I did want to give you a discount, though. Like, he wanted to reduce the price for me either way. And I told him, we'll figure out what's wrong with it, see how much it costs, and, you know, we'll negotiate the price from there. But missing this car thing, you know, not being able to go see the car because he had to put it in the shop, didn't mean I'm not getting the car. It just meant that it gave me the opportunity to be able to take my cat to the vet. I didn't have to pick between one or the other. So no, I'm not going to lose the car and my cat is taken care of at the same time. So something shitty happened, right? I can't go look at the car. What?
There's no one outside. Can I go?
No, you can't go right now. I am live. No, you can't go until after they've been here. We're waiting on them to come do the COVID swab. They're going to make me do it. They're going to make mommy do it. They're like, yeah, so they're not going to come in. They're going to hand you the stuff and they're going to watch you do it. And I'm like, okay, cool.
There's no one outside. Please.
Please stop.
Please.
Did you finish your homework? Exactly.
When I'm done?
Yes, then you're done. You're finishing up last night's homework. The teacher didn't send me an email this morning yet for today's. Hold on. Don't put that lollipop on my TV screen. I've seen where you already did it.
No! She doesn't like that.
Then change it for her. I'm getting all off track. This is Mommyville. But yeah, so like, all this shit happens. And then I instantly have something else come up. Like, originally, I was supposed to go see the car at 4. And I would have had to drop the girls off. Because, like, it was in one day. I had an appointment at the doctor's. I had to go to my grandma's house. I had to go to Joshua's school. I had to go to Kyrie's school. I had to go look at the car. And then I noticed my cat's bleeding. I gotta get her to the vet. So that was all supposed to happen in one day. Schedules for most of it. So like set times to be in places and you know, driving half an hour in one direction and then half an hour in the other direction and a lot of stuff. So I was like, okay, I'll figure it out. So then the next day I get up and I cancel my doctor's appointment because, well, the night before they called me and they said, well, we're going to put Kyrie in quarantine. So the next morning I woke up, I called the doctor's office. I said, hey, my daughter's in quarantine, so I'm not going to come to the appointment. I'm just going to have to reschedule it, and then they can check my hearing then. Which my hearing seems fine. I'm not worried about it. So I did that, because I was like, I'm really tired. I'm not going to do this to myself right now. And then I chose not to go get Joshua's books. So like, you know, and then that day I was just, the only thing I had left to worry about was really the car and getting Kitty to the vet, so that they can find out what's wrong with her. And then everything kind of panned out the way it needed to. Because originally I was going to take the girls to my mom at work to go see the car so that I didn't have to take them with me to, go test drive a car. I would have to install car seats and stuff like what. But then, the quarantine. And first, my mom calls and she goes, "Hey, well, my boss is coming in tomorrow, so I won't be able to have the kids here if he's here at that time." And then the quarantine thing happened. So I was like, okay, well, clearly my mom's not supposed to have the girls tomorrow. But then my son hits me up and says, "Hey, Mom, we're homeschooling tomorrow because my teacher's sick." So I was like, okay, so Joshua's going to be home. So I don't have to worry about that. Joshua can stay home and watch the girls. Cool. So something happened that was like, oh, well, that's going to be inconvenient. But then immediately something else came in that was like, this is going to help you, though, right? So when people are talk about manifesting things, and then some people are like, oh, well, why am I manifesting all this bad stuff? We're not manifesting bad stuff. Stuff just happens. Life happens no matter where we are emotionally or physically or spiritually. Life still happens around us. And it's a matter of how we perceive it and how we go about it. Now, I could sit here and mope and cry and complain all day long about 50 million things, or I can do what I have been doing and, push through and see the good in it and see where I have reason to be grateful and see where I'm still receiving blessings upon blessings, even with the bullshit that comes my way, or I could fall into a really deep depression like I would have done a year ago. So one of the truths that I am experiencing is that we do not manifest everything around us like some people believe. Because if that were the case, then why would we be manifesting so much pain, right? If we're actually in a process of healing and we're in the process of learning forgiveness and unconditional love and being forgiving and being unconditional love, being love, then we wouldn't be manifesting things that happen around us the way they do. It's not about what we manifest, it's about what we perceive what is happening around us, because we can be in the world or we can be of the world. And when you are of the world, when you learn to observe what's happening and not let it affect you in a way that's going to drag you down emotionally or mentally or physically, you're still going to get dragged into the world, right? Like Corona, I'm not worried about Corona. I see it for what it is. I'm not worried about Trump. I see his purpose for what it is. I'm not worried about all this stuff going on in the world. But I understand that I'm still going to get dragged into it, because that's what happens when you're a human being. You get dragged into shit, right? We're not manifesting the neighbor to be abusive to their spouse, but we are going to get dragged into it because, well, we live right next door, right? Like, that's an example. It's something that actually happened to me in the States. To me and to my neighbor, actually. We were both in abusive relationships and ended up getting dragged into one another's relationships. So, not everything that happens to us is something that we manifest because we're, bad people or suffering or out of alignment or imbalance. Sometimes it's really just being dragged into an experience to learn something from it, whether that lesson be a big one or just a matter of learning when to shut up or learning how to not be negative about it, So, and we experience things differently. Two people can watch the same movie or listen to the same song, but they're going to perceive it in completely different ways. It's going to affect them in a completely different way. I cannot watch Frozen 2 without crying. I can't. It's not possible. If I sit there and I really watch it, or even just the part, it's just the song, really. It's when she's singing in the cave, show yourself. Like that song, every time, I'm going to cry like a bitch. Okay, somebody else could watch that movie and be completely unaffected by it. Why am I so affected by it? Because I've experienced what it means to really understand you're looking for yourself, and then you find yourself, and then you learn that you are enough, right? Everything you need is within you. I learned that lesson. I experienced that. So when I hear that song, I'm grateful, and that's why I cry. Somebody else might hear it and cry because they feel like they're not enough, right? They're crying, same reason, kind of opposite end of the spectrum, right? They understand the song, but for them it's a matter of not having found that within themselves. So yeah, like there's just so much stuff that I'm trying to explain, and I can't just write it down to explain it, because then I'll have all these people be like, oh, well, that's not true because this and this and that. And I'm like, I'm not saying it's truth. I'm saying it's an experience that I'm having, which makes it my truth. And if somebody else doesn't agree with it, I don't care. Like, maybe I sound like a dick. I don't mean to sound like a dick, but I don't care. I'm sharing my experience. I'm showing people where I was at 2 years ago, where I was at a year ago. They can go back and they can see the entire process from suicidal up to channeling messages from spirit and dead people to me going through the loss of my cat, my car, quarantine, taking care of my grandma. My mom's dog died. My other cat had surgery. And all of this shit happened within 6 weeks. And there was more stuff that I don't even talk about, right? So, but I'm still here doing the live. I'm still writing my blogs. I'm still encouraging people to dig deep and heal and tend to your roots so that you can grow. I'm still telling people to question everything. I'm still telling people to experience their lessons and not take someone else's word for it, including mine. Because another thing that I'm realizing is that people are very, very easily manipulated. We are fragile. Human beings, we are, our psyche, our mental health, we are very, very fragile. So it doesn't take a lot for somebody to come in and appear to have good intentions and manipulate the fuck out of you, out of us. That's how Hitler did it, right? He appeared to have good intent. And if somebody appears to have good intent and there is fear at stake, then people might make really messed up decisions based on, what gives me less fear instead of what would actually be the better outcome despite the fear, right? Things have to go bad to things have to be destroyed to be rebuilt. So I see a lot of that. A lot of people are just fear mongering and they're forcing their truth onto other people, whether it be about the mask where they're chasing each other down in the stores with a phone because they're not wearing a mask, or they're beating somebody up because they have a Trump 2020 sign in their yard. Like, you're going to go onto someone's personal property because they have freedom of speech and you're going to beat them up because their truth does not reflect your truth. What? Where are we? Why do people do that? People who hurt other people. People who are afraid will also hurt other people because fear is on the spectrum of pain. So I really wish I had a way to get to a bigger crowd of people so that they would understand that your truth is not the truth. Because everybody has two forms of truth. The truth that resonates, we hear it, we feel it, we believe it, and the truth that we experience. So the truth that resonated with me 6 months ago is no longer the truth that I have now because I'm experiencing something different. I'm experiencing where I'm seeing people being enlightened, but they're not even aware of it. I am seeing people healing and they are not aware of it. I am seeing spirit working through people and they are not aware of it. So that taught me that you don't have to be awake to ascend, right? You don't have to. People don't have to know. People don't have to agree. I know somebody, he doesn't believe in a soul. He denies the very existence that we are. Because outside of this, we're energy. And he acknowledges energy, but he doesn't acknowledge the fact that that's what we're made of. Like, it's really weird. He just, I don't know.
I got boy problems, that's the human in me. Bling bling, then I solve them, that's the goddess in me. You could have had a bad bitch, not commit.
Do that. That's cool. Am I back? It says live. Apparently you can pause it. I had to take that call. That's the people coming to do the test are going to be here in about 10-15 minutes. What was I saying? I don't know what I was saying. I might just end up repeating myself then, I guess. But yeah, so people are over here trying to force their truth onto other people. They are being hateful and rude and disrespectful. So that's not something that we as individuals are manifesting into our lives when it happens, right? Now, like, I have a lot of kind people around me. I generally am greeted with kindness and love and understanding from anybody that I come in contact with. Because that's what I give, right? So we start to, the people around us start to reflect what we put out. But I still get dragged into other people's stuff because that's life. So it's a matter of me responding. Now, when you are in the midst of, you know, the corona thing going on and it's affecting multiple people that you are not in direct contact to on a personal level, but like my daughter, you know, we have these group chats for the whole class so that people can stay in contact, we can communicate with each other, you know, make sure that everybody's getting the assignments for the kids and whatnot, because they have several children under quarantine. So that's a lot of energy that comes through because I can feel someone's energy. If somebody sends a message or a comment on a Facebook or whatever, I can feel the energy behind their message. I can feel if they were sad. I can feel if they were angry, if they were triggered. I can feel that as if it were my own emotion, and I had to learn discernment. So when I'm talking to, you know, 11, 12, 15 people, where I'm seeing hundreds and hundreds of comments throughout Facebook, and this is why I haven't been as active as I usually am. Like, I'm posting stuff, but I'm not actively communicating to people like I usually do. It's because I feel all that energy. And when it's coming in the way it has been here the past couple of weeks, because I don't know what it is, but a lot of people are just feeling really drained and really some kind of way. And there's just a huge energetic shift going on within the collective. Like, my mom is exhausted, my sister's exhausted, my friends are exhausted. Everybody's got like one bullshit thing after the other happening right now. It's not just me. It's like all over the place. And it's like, okay, so this is what 2020 is bringing in for August and September. Just a bunch of bullshit, right? Like, it's run out of things to come up with, and we're still not having the zombie apocalypse. So we're just going to give people a lot of fucking bullshit to deal with, right? So that's the 2020 game that we're looking at right now, right? Just a bunch of bullshit, a bunch of drama that nobody wants to fucking have. So, you know, it gets exhausting though. When you're aware of how to transmute energy and you're aware of how to work through it to not fall into a lower state of functioning, you know, you want to stay in that vibration of love, that have that ability to bring other people out of their fears and into a state of peace and joy. That's a lot of energy, and it's a lot of work, and it's really, really exhausting and really draining. So I've been kind of pulling away from people, just trying to separate their energy from my own as much as possible. And I suggest that everybody does that, seriously. Because the year ain't over yet, guys. It ain't over yet. So yeah, just be of the world, but not in it. And if you get dragged into it, remember who you are. Remember who you are. Be steadfast in your belief, but accept other people's beliefs, because their truth is their truth for a reason. They experience life differently. They learn lessons differently. They have different lessons to learn. You know? Somebody comes up to me and says the grass is red. To me it's green, but if they say it's red, then there's probably a reason that to them it's red. So I'll say, okay, that's cool. I see it as green, but that's cool. You know, don't be a dick. Big thing. Lots of stuff going on. We get dragged into things. We see things. We witness things. And we have to rise above it. That's pretty much all it is. Rising above it. Take naps. Eat chocolate. My leg is bleeding. I don't know what I did. Did I scratch it? Yeah, speaking of blood, I also have to go clean up Kitty's blood, because that's still in the bathroom, because by the time I got home yesterday, I was not in the mindset to go clean that up. Alright, I'm gonna go outside and wait for the COVID crew to come swabbity-swab my kid. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay sane, stay balanced.
I fell.
Don't let people tell you you're wrong just because you don't believe what they believe, and don't let people treat you like shit over it. Yeah, gravity be like that sometimes, baby. Beautiful day. You see it? What?
How do you move?
Alright. I'm leaving. Bye.